Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super discussion video. I am once again joined by the master, D-Free. D-Free, why don't you say hello to everyone listening?
What's up, guys? Mark, thank you for having me on, man. It's always a pleasure. Happy to be here.
Always a pleasure to have you on, man. So today we're going to be talking about something I'm way more hyped than this special. I know, guys, I know. We're all very, very hyped for the special. I made an entire video about it, asking you guys about whether or not you're hyped for the special, but I am really hyped for Hit versus Jiren, and minor spoilers here and there. One of the things that I'm really interested in talking about with this particular fight is the very fact that this fight actually occurs based on the titles of the episodes that we got a couple days ago after the special, after we get to see Goku go up against Jiren himself and have a brand new form. And I'm wondering, considering the fact before all of the Tournament of Power actually started, we were all, everybody, myself included, was sitting there talking about they're going to put Hit versus Jiren, one of the very first fights in the tournament, just to kind of take out Hit, have Jiren kind of have his one-up moment, and then just kind of play off that Jiren is the new big bad. He puts Hit to pasture. But we're not getting that. We're getting something completely different. We've never necessarily seen something like this in Dragon Ball, where we have Goku go up against the main big bad first, potentially, we don't know yet, we haven't seen the special, potentially lose, and then the last big bad from the last tournament goes up against the person who just beat Goku and actually wins. Man, what are your thoughts on this general hype and everything else about that particular situation? What do you want to see from this particular fight?
Honestly, like you said, man, it is out of order because it would make more sense if you wanted to make Goku the victor of the tournament for him to, you know, come on later after Hit had already fought Jiren, potentially weakened Jiren and stuff like that. So it's kind of weird, man. It's an anomaly to me. I really want to see, honestly, I want to see Hit beat a weakened Jiren at this point, because I feel like maybe Jiren is a bit too overhyped. So it's like, okay, this man's going to take a spirit bomb to the face. He's going to obviously body this spirit bomb, and that's fine. Because there are different stipulations. How are they getting this energy? How much energy? Et cetera, et cetera. So that's fine with me. But it's like Goku's going to break out this brand new all-powerful form. We don't know exactly how Goku goes down, but it's like if Hit is fighting Jiren, I feel like that's a massive red herring or foreshadowing for like, hey, that means that Goku is either incapacitated or eliminated. So it's like, where is this exactly going to go? And I don't really know, but I do want to see Jiren just get eliminated at that point, man. I feel like maybe because he's been stagnant, he hasn't been doing anything. We're getting a lot of Ribrianne, and that's really bothering me. So maybe that's why. But I just want to see Jiren go down because I feel like they spent so much time building up this character, you know, personally. And I don't know, man. I want to see Jiren fight, and that's the best way to get it done.
No, I completely agree, and especially considering the fact that although we're getting a special in Dragon Ball Super that's going to basically be 2 episodes stitched together into one, or at least played back to back, we do know that we're going to be able to see Jiren fight a whole lot in the next coming weeks on Dragon Ball Super. He's going to fight Goku, then he's going to fight Hit, and then who knows what. We had an awesome theory video, and I will link it in the descriptions below if you guys want to go see it. Obviously, you probably have already seen it, considering the fact that you're probably already subbed to Geekdom when he was talking about potentially Jiren's going to take out Goku, as you alluded to there, D-Free. And honestly, that would be kind of cool. It would really kind of shake up the tournament on its own. I mean, considering the fact that we have Frieza, Gohan, Vegeta, 17, and all the other hype people from Universe 7 still in the game. Potentially also with Hit and Kale and Caulifla, and Kaba and almost everyone else that we have on Universe 7 and 6. Them fighting Jiren, all ganging up on Jiren, would be something to see. We've just never seen anything like that in Dragon Ball, or even pulled off well, or even attempted. So I'm not so bold as to say that now. Guys, I know I have some really, really bold theories for every now and then. I'm not too bold to say that. One of the things we've been seeing, and just one of the tropes that they've been using throughout this entire tournament, is someone gets hurt, someone gets kind of passed out, but as long as you're not thrown off, they made a point to say, as long as you're not thrown off, you can kind of rest and kind of recuperate. We've seen way too many people on this tournament ring actually doing that at this point. I mean, hell, the last time we saw Kale and Caulifla, they decided not even to get into the fight to help Hit because they were too weak from their previous battles with the Pride Troopers, so that makes complete sense. I feel like Goku, after fighting Jiren, is probably going to be passed out, but he'll wake up again, considering the fact that they're not going to take him out entirely after we just saw from the last tournament and the tournament versus Universe 6 and 7, where Goku got completely thrown out at the very beginning because of Frost's meddling with the, you know, the
and that at the time was quite controversial.
Yeah.
I wonder if they would really have the cojones to do it a second time, man. To eliminate Goku really early on. Now, albeit that's not really early. That's about halfway mark or so. So Goku's got his, you know, his knockouts in and stuff like that. So I guess it would be a little bit more fulfilling if he got eliminated then. But honestly, I really don't know if they have basically the balls to be able to do that, because I feel like they want Goku in that final fight. But then at the same time, you've kind of done his character justice. You've kind of marketed him enough. You've marketed this new form in the fight with Jiren to where even if he doesn't last past that, you accomplished your goal, right? It doesn't really matter in particular. So they could let anybody else, you know, be the last one standing in the arena. It could be Frieza. It could be Vegeta. It could be a wild card. It could be Piccolo for all we know. It could be Gohan.
Kaba.
You know, but it could be Kaba. Yeah, you're right. It could be Kaba. Kaba would be a good candidate for somebody from Universe 6. And Universe 6 is like quietly in the lead right now, right? So like, as far as I recall, last time they had the most members left.
I think it's tied with Universe 7 now, because they got the Doctor
Universe
out.
7 also lost.
They got the Doctor out.
No,
they got the Doctor, Magetta, Botamo, and Frost now. So they're Universe 7 is still in the lead right now, apparently.
Oh, okay. Anyways, yeah. So yeah, Universe 7 lost Roshi, and then I think Universe 6 lost 2 characters. Either way, they're up there and, you know, towards the top of the rankings right now for remaining characters. So it could make sense. I think they'd have a compelling case for somebody like Kaba. But the real question is, like, I feel like, do you feel like maybe this is too soon in the tournament? Like, once again, it's not like super early. It's midway point, but it's weird. Maybe they'll have another fight. Maybe Goku will do like you said, and he'll kind of like be incapacitated and recuperate and then come back. I don't know. That's kind of been what Jiren and Toppo and those guys have done this whole tournament. They just kind of lay low, you know? So it's possible, I guess.
No, I completely get that. And I do want to kind of answer your question by also asking you another question when it comes to this particular subject, is whether or not, if they do take out Goku, and let's just go off the idea that they are taking out Goku, or Goku will be eliminated some way after fighting Jiren. We've seen this before, albeit really random, but we haven't actually seen Goku get eliminated from being literally taken out. He's kind of given up on fights before, both with the whole Cell fight in the Cell games and also the fight with Hit later on in the series. Like you said, kind of controversial, the way they led up to it and the way they ended that, so maybe they won't do that again. We don't necessarily know. But as I have argued in the past, and I'm sure you have talked about on your channel as well, the idea that building up Gohan for the effort of actually making him the person who wins the tournament, giving all of the spotlight to him, making him the team leader, giving Goku this amazing fight basically halfway through the tournament with Jiren, the person who we've all really kind of perceived as being the last man standing for Universe 11, the big bad must-beat person of this particular arc. It sort of makes sense going off of what we've known, or just the tropes of the series thus far, when you look back to the Cell games and figure out that this whole tournament has kind of been playing on that situation as well. The confidence that Goku's been giving Gohan and everything else that we've seen from it. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on Gohan coming back and taking up the mantle to actually beat Jiren after Goku and Vegeta fight? Or after Goku and Jiren fight? Because let's not forget, Jiren's going to be a little bit tired from after his fight with Goku, hopefully. I don't want to see Jiren get so bogged down by fighting Goku that he's not going to be scarred at all. And at the same time, then he has to go up against Hit. We all know he's going to go up against Hit at least at some point, hopefully in the very next episode, as the title suggests. And Hit is a force to be reckoned with. I hope that fight won't end with Jiren just basically destroying Hit with one punch, considering we already saw him fight against Dispo. Considering the fact that they're going to be titling the episode from it, I don't think that that's actually going to happen. So taking a beating from Goku and Hit, do you think that that might weaken Jiren enough, considering the fact that he's not allowed to actually heal during this fight like Cell was, to give Gohan a chance, or maybe even Vegeta or Piccolo, like you're saying?
It's possible, man. I feel like even Frieza, man, because, like, for example, Frieza, the way he's kind of like came in the last episode, watching Jamies and Gohan's fight, it kind of gives me the idea that he would kind of sneak in at the last second, similar to how Frost did, actually, to like a character that's on their verge of like being eliminated already, like Frost did to Roshi, for example, like kind of like already out of energy, can't continue fighting anymore. So it's possible, man. I feel like if it got to that point. You know, and Jiren was eliminated from the arena, which I don't, honestly, to answer my own question, I don't even think Jiren will be eliminated that early. I feel like Jiren's going to probably have a second fight, and I don't know, against two, and it would be a big one, a bigger scale one, because I don't feel like whoever comes in at that point would be enough. We need to find out what happens with Toppo and Kaba. That's the real question, because if Toppo beats Kaba, which he possibly could, and most likely could and will, then there's a possibility that Toppo swings in at the last second and, you know, takes Jiren away and they recuperate somewhere. It's possible. And see, as far as like Gohan goes, to answer your question a little bit more thoroughly, I feel like Gohan himself needs to find somewhere and sit down, because he was looking so tired in the last episode. And it's like it's really weird, because it must be because he hasn't trained his body up really. In all honesty, I mean, he only trained for like, what, an hour maximum with Piccolo? He said on and off throughout the series he's going to train, so we don't know what he has done. But it's safe to assume he hasn't really stuck to that, because every time they saw him, they'd say, hey, you haven't trained, your body's weak, da 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 da. So it's like he's looking really weak. And then in comparison to Goku and Vegeta, who have a transformation that is said to be so strenuous on them. Maybe it's because they're going in and out of it, and they've kind of changed the dichotomy of what the Super Saiyan Blue form is, where it's like, oh, it used to drain you a lot when you go into the form. Now it's basically dependent on how long you stay in the form versus going in and out of it. So maybe that's it. But like, Gohan looks so tired. He looks like he just needs to find somewhere to sit down. And same could be said for Piccolo, because we know for a fact Piccolo's low because he had to regenerate. Vegeta's honestly the only fresh character that would be there in that scenario. Right? Vegeta's the only one that could, aside from Frieza, that could actually come in and just get the job done. I don't know what the androids are doing. They're just kind of just chilling. We haven't seen them in like a few months. Not a few months, a few weeks, excuse me. So
I will say this. I will say this. Two more questions when it comes to this, and I'll just give my thoughts and opinions on them right now before I ask you. When it comes to Hit, just getting back on topic, Hit fighting Jiren, is it at least a little bit weird? I personally think it's a little bit weird that we're going to be getting a fight between Hit and Jiren, considering what we've already said with Goku having fought Jiren a couple episodes prior, and however that shakes up, we don't know. But it's, like we said, going a little bit backwards. But considering the fact that we already saw Dragon Ball Super give an entire episode to Hit. I mean, we already got to see Hit overcome an obstacle and overcome a weakness with his own Tokudabashi technique, that it seems weird that he would then go up against Jiren and be a legitimate threat to him. Considering what we've seen from Jiren, at least my interpretation of the character seems to be that he is taking note. He's kind of considering how to fight every person without ever having to give up too much stamina or too much of an edge to one particular character, and knows how to fight them. That's why I think Goku is going to be so ridiculously hard for him, because not only does Goku have the Super Saiyan Blue transformation, which Jiren might not fully understand, but he also has the Kaioken times 20, which nobody's ready for that. I honestly don't think anyone's ready for that. But they also have a brand new transformation that they've been hyping up for months now. So I honestly understand why Jiren might have some trouble with Goku, but Hit, as we saw in the last tournament, he doesn't have those particular shortcomings when it comes to powering up or transformations or something. He just simply improves. And if Jiren knows that from his fight with Dispo, do you think that this is going to be too much of a one-sided fight with Jiren? I mean, I think it could potentially be. Like, Jiren could beat Goku and then just take out Hit, and then we have basically back-to-back-to-back episodes where Jiren's just dominating, and after all of it is said and done, we just go, man, how are they going to beat this guy?
Yeah, see, my problem with that is we know who Hit is, right? We know Hit adapts and he gets more powerful. His abilities adapt. That's what he did against Dispo, because Dispo had him on the edge and Hit literally turned the fight around. So it depends, because I'd have to assume, I would like to believe that Goku could at least weaken Jiren to half strength, somewhere in that area. If Jiren completely raffle stomps Goku in that new form, then yeah, Hit's gonna get bodied, and there's no question about it, right? There's no question about it. But at the very least, Hit has an innate ability that I think Jiren would have to. I mean, I'm sure that he observed it from Dispo's fight, But that doesn't mean that he has the exact same abilities, right? Because that was something specific to Dispo. Because Dispo was able to hear the muscle twitches. I don't know if Jiren's hearing is that acute, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean he'd be able to replicate it. But then again, at the same time, Goku himself has shown that when it comes to hits time skip, you can just outspeed the shit. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I'd like to think that at least Hit has a fighting chance, a puncher's chance, especially if the battle drags on, because Hit is not a character that you want to be in a prolonged battle with. He's shown that several times. He will adapt. He will get better. Similar to how Goku Black would just continually get those monstrous guys in the middle of a battle. So I think Hit's the same character. So my answer to that is if the battle isn't prolonged, then I think that there is a solid chance that Jiren will just come in and just eliminate Hit. And if he does that after, either, like, for example, he doesn't have to necessarily eliminate him, knock him out the ring, just simply incapacitating him. But, of course, you'd know that he would want to go for the elimination to get this powerful contestant out of the arena. But either way, whichever one actually happens, I feel like if it's not a prolonged battle, he has a strong chance of that. But if it is, and Hit is potentially more fresh as well, I feel like Hit has a good chance in that regard. It just comes down to, I guess, how much energy Jiren has left and whether or not he's fatigued, really.
And, part of me is just wondering, or at least expecting this to go down that way, where he will take out Goku. If he does take out Goku, maybe even take out Goku to the point where he's just passed out on the side of the ring and not necessarily out, not necessarily in on the fight himself, and then just go and take out Hit. Maybe being a little too overconfident, a little overcocky. We've seen this time and time and time again in Dragon Ball, where that's just something the villains do or the main antagonizing forces do, where they get a little over cocky with their powers and they don't necessarily finish the job when they should. Hell, we've seen the good guys do that over and over again. So he might take out Goku, he might just leave him on the side, and then he goes directly to Hit, takes him out, done. And then all of us are just sitting there going, Goku's passed out, or maybe even out at that point. Hit is gone, and no one in this particular tournament, maybe besides Frieza, could really kind of pick up the pieces. And I think that would leave us in such a dire situation for Dragon Ball. I can't imagine the hype about what is going to happen next. There would be so many videos, so many speculations about Vegeta, Frieza, Gohan, 17. I mean, Kaba, Kale, Caulifla, you name it. Everyone's going to sit there and be like, who is going to pick up the pieces? And I honestly think, as you said at the very beginning of this episode, you don't know if they really have the cojones to actually do that. I think that's probably the best move that they could actually make story-wise. I mean, marketing-wise or something, you build up all your other characters who potentially have gotten a little bit of spotlight but not enough, who could potentially sell toys and bring in ratings or something, change up the game so dramatically that it leaves everyone guessing. Take out the two people that could potentially win this tournament, leaving Jiren only at the top of the hill. And then, like you said, maybe Topo is there as well. How is anyone going to beat Universe 11? And they're going to figure that out or show us later down the line. I personally think that would be the best way to interpret this story, but who really knows? Any closing thoughts?
No, I completely agree with you, man. We'll just have to see what happens, because there's so many ways it can go, especially if Goku is actually eliminated at that point, which I don't think he will be, but we'll just have to see.
I completely agree. Guys, I want everyone to go down to the description section below. Please hit that link and go subscribe to D-Free and his channel. If you love Dokkan, if you love Dragon Ball discussions and reviews and all this other stuff that you can have from this particular community, please make sure to go support him. At the same time, I want everyone to please go like, comment, and subscribe. This isn't just a conversation between D-Free and I. It's also a conversation between every one of you, and I hope everyone's really excited for some of the new episodes we're going to be getting in Dragon Ball Super. The Tournament of Power is really, really picking up, and I can't be more excited myself. At the same time, please make sure to hit that bell over by the subscriber button. It's going to notify you every single time I upload. But with that being said, guys, we hope everyone has a really good day. It's been real.